Most people make a major mistake when trying to reduce anxiety. And the reason for this is because they typically try to target changing the mind with the mind. If you've ever had anxiety, you know that once you're in an anxious state, once you're activated in that anxious state, you're flooded with fear, flooded with anxiety, it's really hard to change anything that's going on in your mind. You could try to present the most logical argument to you and you will still be filled with anxiety, because once the mind is flooded with that level of anxiety, there's no talking to you. Like when I'm that anxious, like there's no arguing with me. Like I cannot be reasoned with at all. And you might be the same. And so if you're trying to treat anxiety or reduce anxiety with solely cognitive approaches, which means that you're targeting just thoughts, just the mind, that typically won't work really well. What you need to be doing is you need to be integrating somatic techniques. Somatic is just a way of saying of the body. So the idea here is that there's a mind-body connection, right? A lot of anxiety is fueled by an upregulated nervous system. And so in order to reduce anxiety, we need to reduce the activation of the nervous system. And the nervous system is of the body. And so when we target physical interventions for anxiety, we typically have way more success. And just working with my clients over the years, I've noticed that we can't really get anywhere until we have a regulated nervous system. And so if you're someone that's been dealing with anxiety maybe your whole life, and maybe you go to therapy, maybe you read books, maybe you listen to podcasts and you journal and do all those things, and you're still not seeing that much of an effect, it's probably because your nervous system is still hijacked by your anxiety. And so you need to actually learn to reduce the activation of your nervous system. You need to learn the skill of calming your nervous system. And this very much is a skill. And if you're someone that is prone to anxiety, you might have a hypersensitive nervous system, which means that it's going to be a more difficult skill for you to learn. But it is something that's very much worth learning, because once you can actually calm your nervous system, then you can actually do all of those cognitive interventions that you see, like reframing your thoughts and journaling and looking for the things that you're grateful for or whatever. But if you're trying to do those things when you're like really anxious in the body and in the mind, like there's no way that it's going to really have an effect. And so hopefully this helps you if you're someone that's just been doing things and you have no idea why you're not getting better. It's because you need to target the body in order to influence the mind. And so if you just go into YouTube, go into TikTok, go into wherever and Google or search up somatic techniques for calming anxiety, you will find all kinds of things. I really like recommending tapping to my clients. It looks a little weird at first, but it's actually super scientifically valid. Like there's been a lot of studies on this. And so it's an actual real thing. It's not like some woo, like random thing that we came up with. And so if you go try those somatic techniques and you give them a go, and you'll probably have to try quite a few to see what really works for you, then you can start to learn to calm your nervous system. And that's when you can actually really make a lot of progress in treating anxiety.